Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 26th of July. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, we're seeing the average true range starting to fall as we'd expect in the summer. It fortunately it started from a slightly higher place, but we're certainly seeing long periods of consolidation before we see much in the way of movement. So making the markets a little bit more sticky to trade. Once again, I'm looking at euro dollar here, and well, it's the weekly pivot is still below untouched, and price has now, from a spike yesterday, moved down towards that sort of zone. Looking at the weekly picture, I just put the um, trend line across where the previous highs was, and it looks like it just about air kissed that. It might have actually touched it. I'm not too sure if my line is precisely on the point there, but certainly we've seen some selling coming into this point. I did wonder whether we would see a break of this level, and there's still a chance that if it does go back to break this level, it'll run up towards that weekly 200. But for now, it's once again in the morning, it's looking a bit iffy and a bit weak, and may offer opportunities to trade back down towards that weekly pivot. Problem on the short-term front here is that we've got an untouched daily pivot above, and it may just cause a draw back towards that. It's really one of these questions is which is it going to hit first? Any sell point into that weekly pivot gives us an opportunity to buy back for the daily pivot, almost vice versa really. The move into the daily pivot may give us opportunities to sell back towards the weekly pivot there, but it could well just, as it has the last couple of days, just chop for long periods throughout the morning. There isn't a lot of Euro news, or European news, although there is some US data coming out later at 7 p.m. I'll come on to that in a little while. Okay, the pound dollar then, daily perspective here. Again, the range is dropping. I was just looking at this yesterday, and certainly we know that we're getting longer periods of consolidation as opposed to real direction. The pound's been a bit more volatile, and it may be an easier trade if you can get into the right side of it. But it's not necessarily the easiest one to get on the right side of at the moment. That's the trouble with the volatility. It's more of a chop. The trend seems to be rolling over from uh, yesterday's rally there. That didn't really come to too much, and the price moved straight back to previous levels. Now we're sort of kicking around. We're already below the weekly pivot. Then we've got an untouched daily pivot, so moves and any reversals may see it run towards that daily pivot. Any continued selling off, well, at the S1 here, maybe even we start breaking out into, we've already taken out yesterday's lows. Maybe we could push further down, but at the moment it's not the clearest of markets. You just see from this hourly point of view, we've had long periods of chop with, as I say, occasional rallies, but some volatility, then it comes back and seems to be following a pattern there. Okay, so now of course the FOMC data later on may change that a little bit and give us more movement or more trend potentially. Dollar yen eventually pushed up, caught the monthly pivot there. It's now sort of in a whole mess of daily moving averages there, which is sort of reacting. Looks like it may be reacting to. Any strengthening there could see us come back below the weekly pivot. It's, as I say, it's very, this 4 hourly shooting star in there, but whether that will hold, we'll see. It hadn't had a decent, from the 4 hourly perspective, hadn't had much of a decent retrace for some time here. Coming back to the dailies, it's sort of done 2 bars. Now those 2 bars are a pivot swing, which could suggest if it breaks through this mass of moving averages, we could see a bit more continuation to the upside. We're still in this longer term sort of higher low situation, although not necessarily totally confirmed. It just got pipped actually there, so it was sorry, I beg your pardon. It was a confirmed higher low there, and well, we may be sort of getting in yet another higher low. We'll see. But as I say, it's whether it can break these highs here, push through those daily MAs, in which case we could see a bit more of a trend to the upside there. Looking at the short term, well, we've got an untouched daily pivot below, which always can be a draw. We'll see how we break out this morning. Any break may be down from these early sort of lows that were coming here. Well, the trouble is they may just get snagged into the 21s there before they get back down towards the daily pivot, but there's maybe even worth waiting for them to break those 21s, although then the reward is smaller, although if it rolls over it could be a lot larger. Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar sold off through the Asian session there. The inflation rate seemed too low for the Reserve Bank of Australia met, and the governor spoke, and it looks like the inflation data is far too low, coming in even lower. And well, there's sort of mixed messages. He doesn't like the strong currency, and of course that was mentioned, and well, maybe that could be a tick to the low side there. There had been supply at these upper levels anyway, and it's just ran back again yesterday into those upper supply levels, and it's rolling at the moment. So we may just get a continuation of this. Now, of course, with this one, we've actually already hit the daily pivot, run through CS1, already seen a decent range here. We're pretty close to those prior lows. May get a bounce from that point of view. Not the easiest to trade when it's had such a move already. Finally, the Canadian dollar. Continued in the sell side. It's very difficult to be trying to trade against this at the moment, but yep, sure. I was asked the question yesterday. We've got a bit of divergence running across these absolute lows there. It's still got a weekly pivot untouched above. It may sort of give way, and we may see a bit more of a rally. I've hardly seen anything of a retrace from this downward move for a long time. I mean, they've been pretty shallow moves, like this one back here. 2 weeks ago, it just sort of is a shallow sort of move. Even when it consolidates, it's more of a consolidating, slow rising move, and then you can tend to get the sharp moves afterwards. Now, as I say, maybe we do something a little bit more. Of course, everyone wants to suddenly want to be buying at the bottom or catching the bottom. It might be opportunity time, but the way it's consolidating, it's not easy. Perhaps, yeah, as I say, weekly pivot may cause a draw there, but I think the strength and the daily, the risk is always that it will snap against you and sell. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. There's a little else out there today, apart from, of course, sorry, the news. We got some prelim GDP this morning on for the UK at 9:30, which could create quite some volatility in the pound. I think with the IMF data last week or earlier this week, which suggested the growth would be lower. Well, not be surprised if growth is a bit lower anyway. Side of that, we've really then got new home sales, US, not a mover at all. Crude oil inventories, though, at 330. If you want to look at the Canadian dollar, have a probable move, there it is at 330 there, so be aware of that. And then we've got the FOMC statement coming in at 7 p.m. So, and the funds rate, not expected to change anything in terms of current interest rates, but the markets will be looking for any discussion regarding any more movement in terms of buying back or the financial easing process that they've put in there. So we'll see what happens from that. Okay, have a great day. I'll speak to you in the morning. Bye for now.